Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar's Learning App, myself Subramanya. In this session, we shall have a discussion on topic data sufficiency test. Let us study the real meaning of it in detail now. Introduction. In this chapter, a question is asked followed by two statements. The candidate has to decide which statements are sufficient and not sufficient to answer the given question. Here we have been followed by two statements. Out of two statements, we need to verify which statement is sufficient and which statement is not sufficient to answer the given question. In this chapter, following are the rules to be followed to mark the questions. What are the rules? Let's study now. What's rule number 1 says? When statement 1 is alone sufficient and statement 2 is not sufficient to answer the above question, we need to mark our answer as rule number 1. Okay, rule number 1 means statement 1 alone is sufficient and statement 2 is not sufficient to answer the above question. Okay, coming on to rule number 2. On rule number 2 we have statement 1 is not sufficient and statement 2 is sufficient. Okay, rule number 2 is vice versa of rule number 1. Rule number 2 actually says is statement 1 is not sufficient and statement 2 is sufficient. Rule number 3, both are independently sufficient. Okay, whenever the statements both are independently sufficient, you need to mark your answers as rule number 3. Coming to rule number 4, statement 1 is also not sufficient and statement 2 is also not sufficient. Whenever the statement 1 also fails and 2 also fails, then you need to combine both the statements for verification. When you need to combine, when statement 1 also not sufficient and when statement 2 also gone not sufficient, then you need to combine the statement. On combining both also, if the data is not sufficient, then you need to mark your answer as rule number 4. Rule number 4 means statement 1 is also not sufficient and statement 2 is also not sufficient. On combining both also, we are not sufficient to answer the above case. In that condition, you need to mark your answer as rule number 4. Coming to rule number 5, we have statement 1 is not sufficient and statement 2 is also not sufficient. On combining both the data, we may get sufficient to answer the above question. Okay, on combining, if we get a sufficient data to answer the above question, in that cases we need to mark our answer as rule number 5. These are the rules to be followed to answer the or to mark the questions of data sufficiency test. Okay, let me move on to our problems now. Question number 1. Who among the P, Q, R, S, T is the tallest? Statement 1. P is taller than Q. T is not the tallest. So statement 2. R is taller than P. S is not the tallest. Now let us study how to solve these kind of problem. From the statement 1, we have P is taller than Q and T is not the tallest person. Here R and S parameters are missing. Okay, whenever out of specification, if any parameter misses in the statement, then that statement can straight away be cancelled. That is, statement 1 is not sufficient to say who is tallest because they have given only 3 parameters in the statement and they have asked to find out who is tallest from 5 parameters, but we have given with only 3 parameter cases. In such cases, we can't conclude who is the tallest. With the missing parameters, we can straight away cancel the above statement as not sufficient. When coming to parameter 2, statement 2, we have R is taller than P, S is not the tallest person. Again here, Q and T are missing. As I told earlier, whenever the parameters goes missing, we can directly state that statement as wrong because with the missing parameters, we can't conclude who is tallest among 5 people. Whenever you come across both the past statements not sufficient, then you need to combine. You need to combine the 2 statements and check for the final conclusion. On combining the above statements, we have R is greater than P, P is greater than Q, but they have clearly told that T and S do not come in a first position. Here we are not supposed to write T and S. As per our problem, we need who is the tallest person. From this we have got that R is the first position, who is tallest among the order. So we have got the answer as R. R we have got from combining the two cases. Statement 1 also do not follows, statement 2 also do not follows. On combining the both statement, we have got the answer for the prescribed question. So on getting the answer, we need to mark our rule as 5. Okay, so the right option for this question is option 5. Moving on to our next question. In which direction is point E with respect to point S? We are supposed to find the direction of point E with respect to S. First statement is saying point D is to the east of point E is to the south of point F. They are telling that point D is to the east of point E. Then point E is to the south of point F. From the statement 1, we have two parameters required, that is E and S. In first statement, we have only E and S is missing. So with this missing case, we cannot conclude which direction is E with respect to S. So it is an insufficient data. Coming to statement 2 now, they are telling point F is to the northwest of point S. To the point S, F is in northwest direction. Then again, point D is to the north of point S. Point D is in which direction? Point D is in north direction to the point S. We have the requirement of E and S to solve the problem, but we are having only S in statement 2. E is gone missing. With this missing parameter, we can't conclude this as sufficient data. So statement 2 is also not sufficient. Whenever both the statements goes insufficient, then we need to combine. On combining both the data, to the F we have E in south direction, to the E we have D in west direction, to the D we have S in south direction. Again we require E and S. E is in northwest direction. We clearly come to the data that E is in northwest direction with respect to point S. On combining the two statements, we got the answer as northwest of S. On combining, if we get the answer, we need to mark the answer as rule number 5. Okay, so the right answer is rule number 5 and the direction is northwest. Moving on to our next problem. In which month of the year did Rahul go abroad for a vacation? Rahul correctly remembers he went for a vacation on first half of the year. First half of the year will be January to June. In this January to June, we can't say correctly that in which month of the year did Rahul goes to abroad for a vacation. So the given data is insufficient because we can't clearly say in which month of the year did Rahul go to abroad. Coming to statement 2, we have Rahul's son correctly remembers that they went for a vacation after 31st March but before 1st May. We are in need of particular month. They are telling that Rahul's son is correctly remembering that they went for a vacation after 31st March but before 1st May. Before 1st May and after 31st March, we have only one month, that is April. We got the correct month of the year did Rahul go abroad for a vacation. We got the answer only by statement 2, right? There is no necessity of statement 1 for this problem and only statement 2 is necessary. So the right answer for this problem is statement 2 or rule number 2. Moving on to our next question. On which day of same week is Rahul's exam scheduled? Monday being the first day of the week. Ramesh correctly remembers that his exam is scheduled after Tuesday but before Thursday of same week. Writing the statement 1, we have Ramesh correctly remembers that the day is after Tuesday but before Thursday. The day before Thursday and after Tuesday will be Wednesday, right? We got the particular one day as an answer. Coming upon statement 2, we have Ramesh father correctly remembers that Ramesh's exam is scheduled on 3rd day of the week. As they clearly told that Monday being the first day of the week, 3rd day will become Wednesday. In again case number 2 also we got Wednesday as a right answer. In statement 1 also we are getting independently as Wednesday and in statement 2 also we are getting independently as a Wednesday. In these cases, usually when we get answers independently in all the statements, we are going to choose the option as option 3, that is rule number 3. Moving on to our next question. How many marks has Suman scored in the test? Maximum marks is 20. Statement 1. Suman scored 2-digit marks. Her marks were not in decimals. Usually from 1 to 20, 2-digit marks start from 10 to 20. Out of 10 to 20, we can't judge which marks did Suman score. So the data given here is not sufficient to answer the above question. So statement 1 is not sufficient. Coming to the statement 2, we have Suman scored more than 9 marks in the test. More than 9 marks means again from 10 to 20, we have a dilemma that which marks did Suman score in an exam. So statement 2 also do not sufficient to solve the above problem. Wherever the statement 1 also fails and statement 2 also fails, we need to combine both the cases. On clubbing the both the cases, we have again the same criteria which is not meeting the requirement. Between 10 and 20, we can't judge after combining also which marks did Sumant score. On combining also, it is not sufficient to solve the problem. In these cases, we need to choose the option as rule number 4. Moving on to our next question. Question number 6. Towards which direction from village T is village M? Statement 1. We have village P is to the south of village M and village P is to the west of village T. Second statement. We have village K is to the east of village M and village K is to the north of village T. Let's draw the diagram now. Village P is to the south of village M. As per their statement, we have village P is in south direction of village M and village P is in west direction of village T. And they are asking from village T, where is village M? From village T, we have village M in northwest direction. From the first statement 1, we have got the answer. Statement 1 is sufficient to solve the above problem. Let's come to statement 2 now. Village K is to the east of village M and village K is to the north of village T. I see here again from village T, village M is in northwest direction. From village T, we need to find village M. In both the condition, we have got the answer as northwest independently. One is not dependent on other. In this condition, we have to choose rule as rule number 3. Moving on to our next problem. On which day in July was definitely Mohan's mother's birthday? Statement 1. Mohan correctly remembers that his mother's birthday is before 18th but after 12th July. Between these lag we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. In these cases, 12 to 17 dates, we can't find on which day is Mohan mother's birthday. So, the data given here is not sufficient to answer the above question. So, statement 1 does not sufficient. Coming to the statement 2, we have Mohan's sister correctly remembers that their mother's birthday is after 15th but before 19th July. In this case also we have 16, 17 and 18 as our dates. On statement 2 also we didn't got the particular date on which day Mohan's mother's birthday. So statement 2 also got wrong. Whenever both the statements are not sufficient, we need to combine the two statements. We need to combine 1 and 2. On combining 1 and 2 also we have in common only 16, 17 and 18. Out of 16, 17 and 18 on combination also we didn't got the definite date of Mohan mother's birthday. So the right option for this question is option 4. Or question number 8. How is D related to M? This question is based on blood relation topic. Statement 1. K and D are only sisters of R. Here D is there but the required parameter M is not there. M is missing in first statement. From the missing parameter we can't judge for sufficiency. So we can directly say that statement 1 do not follow. Second one, M is married to R father. To answer this problem we require two parameters, that is D and M. In second statement we have M but we don't have D, right? D's parameter is missing. With the missing parameters we can't judge the sufficiency. So statement 2 also gone wrong. When two statements gone wrong we need to combine and check the condition. We need to combine. On combining we have K and D. K and D are sister to R. M is married to R's father. To R's father M has gone married. Yes, we can clearly say that to the D, M is mother. So we can clearly got the answer for this problem, that is how D is related to M. D is a daughter of M. So we can clearly say that we have got the data. Here we have got the data by combining two parameters. We need to choose the answer as option 5. Question number 9. Among A, B, C, D, E, each with a different score in an exam, who has scored the lowest marks? Statement 1. A has scored more marks than only E. D has scored more marks than only 3 of them, right? Let's analyze the case now. From the statement 1, we have A has scored more marks than only E. A has scored more marks than only E, but he is the lowest scorer among other 3. From the data we got that E is the lowest scorer. So we got the answer for the above question from statement 1. Let us coming to statement 2. We have D has scored more than only 3 of them. D has scored more than only 3 of them. Here all the parameters except D are missing. 4 parameters are missing. With these 4 parameters we cannot judge the sufficiency. So statement 2 does not follow. Whenever the statement 1 is sufficient and statement 2 is not sufficient, you need to mark your answer as rule number 1. Moving on to our next problem. Question number 10. Who among P, Q, R, S, T is tallest? Statement 1. P is taller than S and T but shorter than R. Then Q is taller than S. Statement 2. T is taller than S. P is not the tallest person. Okay, from the statement 1 we are having P is taller than. We can write the statement 1 in 2 ways. P is taller than S and T. Then P is taller than T and S. We can write the statement 1 in 2 ways. We have 2 possibilities to write P is taller than S and T case, but P is shorter than R. They are telling Q is taller than S. For Q don't have specific position. In these cases, when condition goes unspecific, we can't judge the sufficient data from the above condition. Above condition is not sufficient to solve the above problem, as because we don't have specific position for letter. Moving on to our next statement, they are telling T is taller than S. P is not the tallest. Here we have Q and R cases are missing. With the missing data, we can't conclude the fact that the above statement is sufficient. Wherever the statement 1 and statement 2 goes insufficient, we need to combine and check. On clubbing we have R greater than P, greater than T, greater than S. Again on combining also we don't have specific position for Q. Okay, on combining also we don't have specific position of Q and we did not got the answer as who is tallest. On combining also, if you didn't get the answer, you need to mark your answer as rule number 4. With this we are ending data sufficiency test. Thank you.